Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Watch as the entire video game industry flashes right before your eyes. We're now in 1981 playing all the releases we couldn't get a definite release date for in alphabetical order. And we last left off with Lunar Lander for the ZX81 home computer, or microcomputer as it's called in England. Let's press forward and see what our next game is. We're next on the VIC-20, and this is Lunar Leeper. Let's take a look at Lunar Leeper and see what it's all about, starting with the artwork. Here's the front of the box for Lunar Leeper, created by Chuckles. Oh, Chuck did this one. Chuckles is the nickname for Chuck Bucci. I can't pronounce his last name correctly, pardon me. But the back of the box tells us a limerick or a rhyme. It wouldn't be the first we've seen on the channel, but I think this is only the second. Leapers are cute, leapers are sly. It's a game full of dodging to shoot up an eye. Fly up, fly down, forward and back. Rescue your men before leapers attack. Fire if you must to save men and your ship, but you'll get more points if you give them the slip. When the rescue's done and the fuel's running low, fly into the cave to dim the eyes glow. The mission complete, both stages at end. A new rescue mission starts all over again. There you go. It's a nice nursery rhyme to tuck you to sleep, playing Lunar Leeper. And there's the cartridge for Lunar Leeper. That's right, cartridge on the VIC-20. That's the way to do it. And you saw who published this. This is originally published by Online Systems, and then it's right on the cusp of when they call themselves Sierra. We're right there. And we have a manual for this one. The Lunar Leeper VIC-20 version, Sierra Online. Yes. It's a mission of mercy. You must save your men from lunar leapers while trying to avoid the cute little critters. Naturally, they're trying to get you too, so pluck your men from danger, drop them to safety of the cliff, while you keep an eye out for those leapers and other lunar hazards. Now, another thing that I thought was the first thing Choplifter was one of the first games that allowed you to rescue and bring people back, but no. Once again, the channel has proven me that what I used to think for video game history is wrong. There are several games that have rescuing. In fact, we saw some rescuing games back in 1980, but I think that this one is going to allow us to scroll the screen a la Choplifter, before Choplifter. Blows my mind. So how do you load the game? We can breeze through those because you know how to do that. For controls, check out the joystick. That is the VIC-20 joystick, apparently. It's not the one I'm used to seeing for the VIC-20, but you can see the fire button, and then up, down, left, and right, and down, and then, so you just move around and then have a fire button. The game begins on level 1, unless you choose a more difficult level. There's 8 levels with 2 stages for each level. Each level's harder than the last one, a la arcade games. Continue rescuing men until all of them are gone, or use the leapers, or all the leapers are killed, obviously your lives. There are cliffs at both ends of the playing field, so use the one that's closest. When you've rescued all your men or killed all the leapers, you'll advance to stage 2. So you're rescuing, the leaper is you, and when you rescue everybody else, then you move to the next stage. Your fuel's not going to last forever, so when your tank is half full, a refueling station will appear at the base of the cliff on both ends of the playing field. Refuel as often as necessary. When you run out of fuel, you'll crash at the bottom of the screen. To make the game tough, there's no brakes. There's an inertia meter to help you. Allow time and space to avoid the leaper's jaws. And then stage 2 is totally different. You're traveling inside a cave. Your mission is to destroy the giant eyeball at the end of the tunnel. No way, there's a boss? You better be speedy because there's no refueling station in the cave. Don't waste your time. Oh, we almost forgot. Watch out for Trabants and laser turrets, the eyeball protectors. You'll have to shoot your way through them to get to the eyeball. When the giant eyeball is destroyed, you'll be in a more difficult stage 1. So it looks like 2 different game modes between stage 1 and 2. And then they showed the different commands of how to play. And then the upper levels, the Trabants will try to hit you on the first stage. These can't be killed. It must be avoided. There's the second level. There's more and faster Trabants. Trabants? There's even lore for Lunar Leeper. Who knew? You have to be on your toes every minute. Good luck. So there's the manual for Lunar Leeper. Interesting manual. For other versions, we got, looks like alternate versions, but these are all on a cart. So let's pop in the cart on our VIC-20 and play. Released at some point in 1981. Here's Lunar Leeper by Sierra Online. Oh man, look at that. Published by Sierra Online, 1981. So exciting. Okay, so the game boots up like it's an arcade game, but it's like an attract mode. I'm not playing the game yet. But wow, what presentation. It just takes you off and shows you the ship moving around. It shows the refueling station. It shows them rescuing and how to bring them back. But it looks fantastic. And it's Chuckles, who developed this, is a very popular developer. Worked with Richard Gary at first on Ultima, and also did lots of freelance work. You can see here for Sierra. Oh, and from the chat, yes, I have checked out the Nebu computer. I cannot definite pin down the release dates for games for the Nebu computer, but I was blown away. I love that something new, that they've got the network up, that people can experience these games for the first time in a long time, since 1982. And so if I could get a time when those release dates came out, then I'm going to set it up for the next year. But I can't find anything definite because people are just now discovering them. So if you got any proof of when they came out or around it, they were first released in 1982, we will definitely check those out. All right, so here's Lunar Leeper. Since we're on the VIC-20, we push F1 to start, and we're in. Okay, so I'm the ship at the top of the screen. Wow, and I already got taken down by a Leaper. They jump up and grab the ship. But look at the presentation. Look at the star fields in the background. And the way the mountains move, it's like a semi-parallax scrolling. That's incredible. This has got to be one of the best-looking VIC-20 games we played so far on the channel. So here we go. You find your guy, and you just go over the top, grab him by the head, and then you try to get back without him getting grabbed by a Leaper, but looks like we're already almost out of fuel. We drop him off, and yep, ran out of fuel and crashed. I was just checking out the landscape. You can see the Leapers there, but it's so easy to control. The left-right works great, and whenever you move left and right, the inertia, you can feel the ship slowly moving left and right, and it even has, if you look down at the bottom, there's arrows showing you how far you're moving left and right. For a computer game, the control is so good. It's so polished. You can really tell that Chuckles spent a lot of time working and tweaking and fine-tuning it, because wow, it's so good. All right, so we're making our way back. Oh, hopefully a Leaper won't grab our guy. No, he did. All right, so before Defender, which had you rescuing people, we had some games in the 80s that had the rescue element, but they were fixed screen or single screen games. Now that we're scrolling, moving left and right, it just reminds me of Choplifter, and I really thought Choplifter had that first. Blows my mind. Look at that. Oh yeah, there we go. Come on. Oh, we're not going to make it with the fuel. Uh-oh. Let's see if we can get to the fuel. Get it. Go. Stop. Oh man, that was so close. Yeah, everything is so good. Look, and the Leaper's animation. Oh, look at the way you die. Even the way you die looks fantastic. How many lives do we have left? Okay, two ships left, so we're making our way to the left. Let's see if we have enough fuel to get our last guy. I don't know. Oh, we got two guys. Okay, so you got to be able to get them all the way from the right back to the left. Yeah, this is one of the best looking VIC-20 games we played thus far. It feels like I'm playing an arcade game that never was an arcade game. Nope, not gonna make it, right? Yeah, we lost because of fuel. Okay, let's go hard right. You're totally safe from the Leapers with just your ship. They can't get you. You can't jump that high. But you move to the right, and it's we're not doing a very good rescue job. And as soon as you get your guy, then you're in danger. They even have a slight radar above the arrows showing how fast your ship's going left and right to show you how far. Oh, he already got that guy. Okay, so we'll get this one. This is our last ship. Hurry, pick him up. You're going to be able to make it all the way back. There's no way I'm going to be able to do it without fuel, because we should have refueled before we left. Yep, watch, we're going to... He gets eaten by the Leaper, and we crash and burn. Game over. Wow, that is very impressive for the VIC-20. Considering all the games we played thus far, arcade, console, handheld, this is exceptional. All right, so pushing F1 again. Let's go again. Does it pick up where we left off? No, starts over from the beginning. So it said in the manual that as soon as we get around a quarter of our way health, then it brings a refueling station up. Wow, I'm blown away at how smooth it controls. Now, a lot of the games we play, we're playing on a more modern joystick or controller. And so, yeah, I'm trying to imagine myself holding the controller in my hand. This game plays better than most other computer games we played so far, and I'm talking, we've played Atari paddle controls, We've played the Apple paddle controls. We played Apple joystick, Atari joystick, and this one, this feels like I'm playing something. I forgot you could crash into the cliff wall. Okay, at least we got full fuel now. Yeah, this one plays like I'm playing on a an analog joystick for the VIC-20. It feels so good. And like with the scrolling, moving left and right, when I realize I've crashed, it's not because the game's messed. It really feels like I messed up and should have been paying attention more. Oh, can I? But even dying looks amazing. I want to see if there's a meter to tell me how many rescue attempts I have left. So should I have gone for fuel? And then how do you know when they're about to jump? It looks random. Or maybe you just bolt. Yeah, just go for it. No, drop off quick. Right before the fuel, he got me. Wow. All right, so heading to the right. Looking for another guy to rescue. I want to see if we can get to the next round. There we go. All right, so I'm going to try... That is so bizarre. And you don't have to push a button, by the way. We do have fire. I didn't even use my... I haven't even used my shots yet. Oh, but using your shots looks like the fuel goes down faster. Not looking good. And down. All right, so can we just shoot all these guys on the way? Oh, interesting. So the plane has a certain height. So you cannot shoot the leapers until they come up. You cannot fly low enough to shoot them from a resting spot. So you got to wait for them to jump, and then I bet you can shoot them all after that. I'm going to hang out here and see if I can take this guy out. He's not taking the bait, though. We'll go for the fuel. There we go. Okay, so I blew him up, and I bet if you keep going across... All right, so the shooting mechanic is just left and right for shooting. There's not a lot of options there, but you can see you could... Oh, but it uses fuel. Nope. Yep, I shot so much that... Yeah, I ran out. I wouldn't even be able to make it back. So interesting. So you have to be careful about your shots because it conserves your energy or your fuel on the way to go rescue everybody. All right, I want to try one more time to see if we can get to the end. Get one guy rescued. There we go. Fuel's still looking good. So what you do is, I think if you shoot down the leapers, then they won't show up on the way back. Let's see if we can try it. Well, if we didn't get them that time, but go for the rescue. The other thing, too, is the sound effects are so well done for the VIC-20. We had a game called Jelly Monsters, which essentially was Pac-Man for the VIC-20, and Jelly Monsters' sound was almost exactly like the arcade, or really close. They did a really good job with it. And then now we get a game like this, which is like a missing arcade game. All right, let's see. How do we bait these guys? I want you to jump. Or we'll kamikaze in them. That'll knock them out. All right, going to the end. All right, we'll be smart this time and refuel up. If you're just now joining us, this is Lunar Leeper for the VIC-20 by Sierra Online, developed by Chuckles. And man, oh man, did Chuckles show... He really showed his stuff. This is amazing. Even in the background, the star fields are scrolling at different speeds, and he didn't have to do that. He didn't really have to. Oh, sorry, buddy. I'm not... This is my first rescue job. All right, so we'll stop firing our shot. Hopefully we can make it to the other side before fuel runs out. Got it. Okay, now let's refuel. We can do as much as we want. All right, heading to the right again. Let's see if we can collect the rest of our buddies. All right, let's just gun it. Go, 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 go. No, okay, almost got me. So, wow, even that one missed. Okay. That one missed too. But... Oh, so cool. So you can, when the ship ran out of fuel, I was able to angle it down like I could almost get fuel, but that's awesome. All right, that was Lunar Leeper. Of all the games we played so far, That is definitely above average, and it's amazing that it's on the VIC-20. I would say even for the arcade experience you could have at home, for a game that's not even in the arcade, it is one of the best games you could play. Is it the best of the best? No. It is up there, though. With all the games so far, this is a 4.5-star game. And we play every game here on the channel. So that was Lunar Leeper. Let's press forward and see what our next game is.
Bally Arcade.
Oh, here we go. This is Machine Language Manager. In an effort to collect and organize and have all the games on the Bally Astrocade, this is technically just software for the Bally Astrocade. It is literally the Machine Language Manager. So if you take a look at the artwork, that's all it is. This is by Bit Fiddlers. It's just to help you with your Bally Astrocade. So for this one, we're going to give it a fat 0 or half star. We'll give it 0 for now because it's technically not even a game. But there it is, Machine Language Manager for your Bally Astrocade. And let's see what our next game is. We are now in the arcade, and this is Magic Worm. By the look of our screenshot, this looks like a Centipede ripoff, is my guess. Here's the artwork for Magic Worm. So this is distributed by Sedam. So this is Italy. And there's the example of the arcade cabinet for Magic Worm. Possibly using the formula of Centipede just in parts of Europe. So show of hands, who played Magic Worm before Centipede? There's got to be somebody. There's our PCB, and then for control panel, looks just like Centipede. Trackball, everything. Maybe they redesigned it with a different color for Magic Worm. Yeah, for controls, it's just the fire button to shoot. And that's it. Probably just a reskin, different... All right, so after that, I just was looking in the chat and saw that I saw a 5 out of 5, and then maybe it influenced Chopper. That's a good point, because we played other rescue games, and there was one other we played besides Lunar Leeper that allowed scrolling and rescuing at the same time. So maybe it did influence Broderbund for Choplifter. All right, so let's head to the arcades and in Italy or parts of Europe and check out Magic Worm, released at some point in 1981. Oh my goodness, look at that. I would say it's not even just a clone of Centipede. That looks exactly like Centipede, at least from what I take. All right, let's put a coin in and push start for... Yeah, Magic Worm is playing and moving exactly like it, using the trackball controls. Sound effects sound identical too. It looks like they only did a palette swap of the colors. So Magic Worm, I guess that's the worm. It's not a centipede. Someone in Europe had to have noticed that that wasn't a worm. Come on, guys. I want to try playing this a different way. Because we got trackball controls, I'm going to switch it out. So we're going to launch it like this. Here we go. That's the way to do it. All right, so getting rid of the border around the outside, because I'm pretty sure that was just the centipede border. Let's put a coin in and play some Magic Worm. That's better. Okay, now we got fine-tuned trackball controls, and not only is this fine-tuned, this feels exactly like Centipede. This doesn't feel like I'm playing a bootleg game or a copy of a game. This feels like it's just Centipede with different colors. I mean, it's so smooth. And maybe because it's from a different region, the sound does seem a little bit muted compared to what we had before. There are sound options, you can raise the volume, but it's not giving me that bang like it did with Centipede. It's also leaving behind not mushrooms, but apples for this stage, and I think it switched it up for one of the other levels. Oh yeah, this is a blast though. It controls so well. It's just like playing Centipede. See, and now they switch up the palettes to blue. Still dying from Centipede. Yeah, the spider doesn't look spiderish. That's true. It looks more like a fly. Yeah, it has wings on the side. Okay, so but it's crazy how well this plays. I'm very curious to know if they took the PCB from Centipede and just tweaked it a little bit, because it's too close. But it's obviously not a worm. Come on, this can't be right. Yeah, it even does the clear screen, showing you everything from across. So It's so close to Centipede. There's no denying it. Well, this isn't the first, and this won't be the last clone of Centipede, but that was Magic Worm. Now, Centipede for 1981, we gave 5 stars. For Magic Worm, it is not the same game. It looks so close, though. But we're going to go 4 stars. It is a very good game, an excellent game to play for 1981, but it's because it's not Centipede, because we know Centipede was first before Magic Worm. We're going to go 4 stars. So there you go, Magic Worm. Wasn't expecting to play that one. Let's see what our next game is after Magic Worm. We're still in the arcades, and this is Marine Date. Not familiar with Marine Date. Let's take a look at the artwork. Maybe it'll refresh my memory. Here's the arcade or advertisement flyer. Okay, so this is by Taito, and they're giving instructions of, I guess you're playing as an octopus. There's a mermaid, a turtle, a shark, and they have the 2 different arcade cabinets there. Yeah, so this one's very bizarre. Marine Date, the unwar game is what it advertises as. Marine Date's not a war game, though you may have to fight. It's not a billiard game, but you better know your angles. It's not a maze game, but you've got to maneuver. Marine Date, it must be experienced to be believed. Use the trackball to bounce the octopus toward the goal. You must reach the goal within the number of shots allotted to you. If you see a shark coming, you can kill it and score a bonus by pushing the fire button. This shoots ink and kills the shark. If you don't kill the shark, it will eat your octopus. Periodically, bubbles will rise up from the bottom of the screen. If the bubbles catch your octopus, they will carry it to a new position, and you have to realign your aim. The maze changes with every new pattern. If you can plan your shots, you can take to your goal, and also clear shots, you can maximize your score. I remember now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very rare, very obscure Taito game. This is why it's down here in the release at some point in 1981. The point of this game is essentially like golf. But it's golf played from a side view, and the octopus is giving you options of where you're going to hit the octopus, and the octopus flies around the screen getting points. So it's a combination of golf and pinball. It is very bizarre, very unique. We've never seen anything like this. And you're supposed to get the mermaid, the octopus to the mermaid, I guess. I hope it's not the Sebastian Ariel dating sim, and don't even get me started on dating sims, because this is pre-Japan Takes Over, and when Japan takes over and we start getting dating sims, oh man, I'm gonna be breezing through those games so fast. So here's our arcade cabinet for Marine Date. Not a very good one, but it's a very hard to come by system. And the trackball you can see is how you control the game. This is also a game that's very difficult to emulate. I don't even think it'll emulate correctly. We'll give it a shot, though. So here we go. We're in the arcades in Japan. At some point in 1981, this is Marine Date by Taito. I thought for a company as popular as Taito, they'd have a better record of all their older games, but no. They have some of these games from 1981 that are very difficult to come by. All right, so as we go to the track mode, you can see how this works. The octopus is who you play as, but you don't control them directly. All you do is you move the trackball in the direction, and then the octopus swims that way. And your goal is just to get down here where the mermaid is, or the girl octopus. I don't know what you would describe it, but you get down to wherever the goal is, and then you move on to the next level. So it's something we've never experienced before on the channel. I hope Leisure Suit Larry isn't a dating sim. It's not a lose at dating. Well, no, the first dating sim would be the soft porn adventure, which we will be getting to at some point in 1981. That's how to ruin a date by Sierra. Anyways, let's put a coin in. And pushing start. Looks like we got no sound. Yep, no sound. So here we go. On the octopus, I make a move. Yep, and he begins his move after I do the... All I'm doing is making him bounce against the walls, and I made it to the goal. Now, the sound isn't emulated because this is another one of those games that's so difficult to come by. But you can see now we're in the next stage. As soon as it gives me the opportunity, I can bounce. Sweet, I am rocking at Marine Date. Getting really lucky with how I bounce off. But all you're doing with the trackball is picking the direction and then seeing how far you go and how fast you go. Where's my ink, though? I'm supposed to have a button for ink. Oh, nope, I don't think I got a good one. Roll it. And it bounces that off, and then it's waiting for the next move. Yeah, missed that one. And after so many tries, yes, you lose a life. So you have to get to the goal within a certain amount of tries, and you also have to accumulate points by bouncing off things or hitting enemies to get to the end. Go! Nope, not going to happen. Of all the video games we played up to this point, we haven't seen anything like this or similar to this. It's difficult to describe, too. This is one of those games that I'd like to try in the arcade, because here, having the sound effects and then being able to use the trackball really adds to the experience, but it's still something so different. It's like one of those Seaman on Dreamcast ideas that's like way out of left field. No one would have thought of it, but that is Marine Date. To get the octopus with a girl octopus. And maybe they'll make baby octopuses. Maybe that's Marine Date 2. All right, so that's all we'll be showcasing for Marine Date. Very unique, very interesting game for the time. For everything else we played up to this point, it's kind of like we're rating it as a pinball game. Well, not really. There's not a lot of physics to it, but it is having you bounce off different areas, and it's having like a golf simulation to it. So I can't really say it's average for the time because it's not average. But is it a good game for the time? It's a rough question too. So for all the games we played up to this point, Marine Date is just a different experience. So I'm going to go ahead and say, we'll say 3 stars for Marine Date because it's random. It's not as much skill involved. If you had the trackball with control, then it might be, but it's an interesting one. We'll say 3 stars for Marine Date. Oh yeah, I'm hearing from Chiptune in the chat, 3.5 stars. Yeah, I can see that. All right, so for all the games up to this point, let's move on and see what our next game is. All right, our next game is Mariner. So we're still in the arcades. This one is another version of 800 Fathoms, which we've already checked out. I believe this one is the one released in Europe. So the European release of 800 Fathoms. Let's take a look at the artwork. You can see the advertisement flyer we have is the German one. And if we flip it over on the back, more German, you can see they kind of break it down of which games are which. They have Piranha, Crush Roller, Scramble, and Mariner, which is interesting because Mariner is very similar to Scramble, same formula. And then controls looks like it's the same as 800 Fathoms. You move around the screen, or same controls as Scramble. We got a fire and a missile. All right, let's go to the arcades and play some Mariner. Released at some point in 1981 in Europe. Maybe elsewhere too. So for the attract mode, this one's taking that formula of the side-scrolling shooter genre, Super Cobra, Scramble, and it's all underwater. And so it's the same we got for 800 Fathoms. An excellent game for the time. It even has, if you look at the top while we were looking at the attract mode, it goes through level by level and lets you experience more or see more. Well, that attract mode is just playing itself. It doesn't really do anything. All right, let's put a coin in and push start. This is it. The wave of the future, horizontal scrolling. As I die electrified on a mine. Do I have there's my other missiles. There we go. Try to electrify me. So they have the same thing we've seen with Scramble. We have fuel tanks at the bottom. I'm going to switch my grip to get better accustomed to it. And they play the game like you're going to go level by level or go further and further and see different things. I have nothing for my bullets to shoot straight ahead. The only thing that's working is the second missiles. What's the point? If you're here for 800 Fathoms, I think this is the exact same game. But we do get a boss battle at the end. I mean, look at this. Yeah, there we go. And then if you look at the top of the screen, we now move on to the next stage, and it tells us what the boss, or like a preview of what the boss will be. And this one looks like it's not emulating all the sound exactly as it would be in the arcade, which we are not going to fault. We are pretending we are in the arcades in 1981, and I'm doing the best I can to get the experience of what it would be like. But when you play every single video game, not everything will look exactly the same. Anything? Oh, we get the boss now? Here we go. If I can squeeze in there. There it is. Nice. Okay, so now on stage 3, and I believe they start firing things up on top of us. Yeah, there they go. Here come the homing missiles. Yeah, they even home in on different directions to try to get you. Whoa. When we began 1981 with Scramble, Super Cobra, and Defender, we got horizontally scrolling game after horizontally scrolling game, and the idea of using the fuel as a timer just started to catch on, and it's crazy to think that we're in 1981. Oh, now we got those tiny shots. I remember these. Now that we're in 1981, we have an idea that comes from a game, and it'll get overused so many times. We're going to see that whenever they start doing... oh, this is really tricky. The bullets are blending in with the starfield in the background, so they're really hard to see. But we're going to see this with whatever the next coolest trend is. Like the Maze game, we're going to see lots of other Maze clones and copies. And then when platformers take over, we're going to see those too. So it's just so interesting being able to see everything of what developers think is cool. Because the developers play the games of the newest, best games, and if they think something's amazing, they're going to put it in their game too. Unless you're doing something like Marine Date. Oh. Wow, that is really tough. Game over. Now we made it to stage 4, but you see at the top of the screen we have more stages we could keep seeing. So it gives you something more to play and more to see in the arcade game, which is what we've seen in 1981. It's great. Way to go. So for Mariner, we're going to give this the same we gave for 800 Fathoms. It's essentially the same game. One of the best games you could play at the time, taking that formula from Scramble and Super Cobra. So 4.5 stars for Mariner. All right, and now that I think about Marine Date, I want to go back to Marine Date because the idea of trying something new, I want to bump it up. I want to do 3.5 stars for Marine Date. Because even though it's bizarre and you really need to have the trackball and the way to properly play the game, I don't want that to be the fault of it. All right, so after Marine Date and Mariner, our next game is still in the arcades. We're moving on to Mars. Let's take a look at Mars and see what it's all about. Starting with the artwork. Here's our advertising flyer. This is by Arctic. Interesting. I thought Arctic only did microcomputer games, unless it's a different company. And then we have an alternate advertisement flyer. Mars Innovation of Space Theme Game. It's got trademarks for Mars like 7 or 8 times on the left side. And it says that the left lever is the 8-way space station control. The right level is the 8-way firing control. Wait, what? All right, I'm looking at the cabinets. No way. This has a cabinets with 2 joysticks again. Is this another twin-stick shooter before Robotron 2084? No way. I don't believe it. So we have another game. I'm looking at the advertisement flyer. Yeah, this arcade cabinet has 2 joysticks, and it says it's boasting 8-way firing and 8-way movement. So 2 8-way joysticks. What? Your mission to destroy oncoming alien ships and missiles. 2 lever controls. No push buttons. The left lever for 8-way space position control. Right lever for 8-way firing control. No way. I don't believe it. Another game before Robotron shows up. Here's the example of the arcade cabinet. So this is Mars. The only other game we saw was Draco that used the twin stick control. And here's an arcade cabinet. Looks like this one's missing the other joystick, at least the other ones we saw. I wonder if it's not the same control panel. But yeah, the controls say that's what it is. And the arcade marquee says Mars. All right, we're going to the arcades to check out Mars, released at some point in 1981 by Arctic. Let's see what happens. We got some of the artwork around the outside. Strive for the title. Arctic Electronics. Mars building itself. Very colorful arcade game. Nice. There's us. I guess we're the UFO. And then here's our points. Gotta know what the points are. Planes 100, whatever that is, 80. Radar's 120, whatever that is for 150. We didn't get a manual, so I make my own lore up. And then score ranking table, yes, let's bust it. Arctic, I'm familiar with the name from microcomputers, specifically in England. So, and it's got to be a different company, just happens to be the same name. All right, let's put a coin in and see what it's like. Push and start. Adds our fuel up. All right, we're in. Oh my gosh, I don't believe this. It is a horizontally scrolling twin-stick shooter game. I feel way too powerful right now because I can move all 8 directions, but then I can shoot all 8 directions, and I just can hold the joystick down. It just continues to fire that way. Oh, better get that fuel. Oh, I missed it. Oh yeah, I missed it, and I'm about to die. I'm just amazed with the controls. I didn't even realize I had to hit fuel. There we go. Oh yeah, this is awesome. Wow, yeah, incredible. Wasn't expecting this. It's using that classic Starfield we've seen from Mooncresta, and it's giving me vibes like we're playing Scramble. Like the color is very similar. And again, it's the horizontally scrolling, but it's not telling us that there's anything like a level to meet or something coming up to look forward to. But they are doing the fuel gauge, but it's not a meter, it's just numbers that's counting down. But there's our timer. Oh man, but this feels great. This one and Draco felt really good. The twin stick shooter is just, it's the wave of the future. Can I get that? There we go. We got a new enemy type. Whoa, what in the world? I don't think I can shoot this guy down. Do I have to shoot the ball instead? Whoa, okay, he's just a bullet sponge. Take a rest and listen to music. New mission is waiting. No, we don't get the music? Oh man, come on. That means there was music? Now I want to know what it is. Some games just don't get a lot of love for the emulation side to make it play correctly, and this is one of those games. Just not as popular. Wow, yeah, this is so good. I'm very familiar with Scramble and Super Cobra. Oh, fuel ran out. Started to just crash. And this game looks and plays just like those games, but it has the twin stick shooter. It's got the 2 joysticks. And it just feels even better control-wise. It almost feels like I'm too powerful. Yeah, this is awesome. It's got good pacing too, very smooth. Letting you explore a little bit or move around the map as the game scrolls. Oh, we're gonna need fuel soon. Quick, give me fuel! Oh, wow, if there's a cloud, you can't shoot past it. So as soon as you make an explosion happen, your bullet will not surpass that part. And it looks like max fuel is 1,000. And this is really cool because usually the games we've been playing with homing missiles, they give up, okay, like those homing missiles, but the smaller ones, they continue to circle. This one right here, they'll keep circling, which makes sense because we're playing a twin stick shooter. We should have the ability to shoot them down. Wow. But this still blows my mind. I thought Robotron 2084 was the game that invented this idea, but no, we've seen 2 games with twin stick shooting. It's crazy. See, just getting I'm using the space I have and going way too far. You must be Mars. Play 1, game over. All right, now it makes me think this was made for another country with the way it's talking. Adios, Meltdown. Yeah, so it's a very ambitious game. It controls so well, though. We'll go one more round of Mars and see if we see anything else, because it's not telling us that there's anything coming up or another level or a way that the game changes. Just the same landscape over and over again. We did play pretty far, though. There we go. Looks good. And the bright color scheme, just like Scramble and Super Cobra. It's amazing. When you play every single video game and you come across a game that changes something, that makes the game feel good, it makes you want to continue to play. It made me feel that way when we played Missile Command for the first time. The way the game was programmed to play just felt so good. And this is the same thing, and I felt the same with Draco. The twin-stick shooter just feels amazing to play. Oh, I forgot I need fuel. I'm just flying around having a blast and realizing, oh yeah, I gotta get fuel. It is so much fun to fly around and shoot everything. And you can even direct the homing missiles away from you to crash land on the ground. It's great. And now I think to myself, there's a crossroads here because we'll get to games that are very, very good, but they may not be as popular or as influential. Did he just shoot extra? Okay, he is shooting extra bullets at me. Wow, okay, I'll take it. Take a rest and listen to the music. Man, we can't hear the music. And so when you get to a game like this, that's incredible, but it's not as influential as Scramble and Super Cobra, do you give it a less rating since it doesn't have the popularity? Kind of like whenever we got to Pac-Man. We saw other maze games like Head-On that had you collecting dots or moving around to collect dots. So we gave Pac-Man the 5 stars because of how influential it was. This one, I can't pin down who actually got in, who actually based their game off of this. But now I'm wanting to know, did Robotron 2084 get influenced by games like this? See, I wasn't paying attention to fuel again. Yes, the Scramble introduces the bomb mechanic and the shooting in front mechanic, so you have 2 different ways to fire. This one is the same shot, but it's just 8 different directions. So it's a different feel, but man, it's still really, really good. When we played Draco, the other twin-stick shooter, it had things that made it a little more clunky. It wasn't as smooth as like Robotron, so I'm still not picking up fuel. It's really fun just to fly around and shoot. Of all the shooters we played, it just feels really good. Alright, don't forget, gotta get fuel. You can't just go flying around the galaxy without fuel. Okay, there we go. Right when I run into the other plane. Play 1, game over. Man, that was fun. That's really good. So that was Mars. Probably under everyone's radar because it's just the name Mars. It sounds even more generic than if they called it Space Game. So of all the games we played up to this point, I gotta go high. If the chat wants to jump in, you can let me know because I'm gonna go way up high. For all the games we played up to this point, when we began 1981, we already gave some 5 stars to Super Cobra and Scramble and some phenomenal horizontally scrolling games. Had no idea there was a horizontally scrolling game with twin-stick shooting capability, so I'm going to go full on 5. Yeah, it is one of the best games you could play in 1981. All right, so after the amazing Mars, let's see what's next. It's Mars again. We have another Mars. This is Mars for the TRS-80 color computer. Let's see what Mars is like on... It's obviously not the arcade version. We don't have any other information for this one. Kind of hard to come by because it's by Aardvark. Let's pop it and play some Mars for the TRS-80 Coco. Yes, go play Mars. Now we're just going to be disappointed. Sorry. After Mars in the arcades, we get to Mars on the Coco, and it's not going to be the same. Sorry, Aardvark. We just came back from the arcades playing Mars, and we got all excited playing the Coco. And I don't even know what this one's going to be like. Let's see. Mars by Aardvark. I'm in a control room. I see a textbook button, red push type, control panel viewport. Obvious exits are down. Okay, so this is Mars or Mars 2. There's two of them, but they're text adventure games. They're meant to be a little bit easier text adventure games, not necessarily for kids, but it's not as many places to go and explore. So this is a bare bones text adventure game, and you can see what you're able to do. Like if I want to get text, oh gosh, after going from arcade game. Textbook, and then you pick it up. I am being watched. What? All right, so we got the textbook. Can we push the button? I mean, we got to push the button, right? Push button. Go. I'm being watched. The computer reports no fuel, no injector pump. So this text adventure game is meant to be heavy on the puzzle elements. We've seen adventure games that have the fantasy theme and so forth, but this one is you're in several different rooms, and the rooms just have different things that you push and pull to be able to move forward to the next. It's very much puzzle-like. Well, the red button told us what we had with fuel and the injector pump, and then I think I can go. I'm going to do a look again. I think it said I could go. I'm being watched, though. That's creepy. That's kind of cool. I'm in the control room. I can see obvious exits are down. Okay, so let's go down. It says, huh? It doesn't know what down is? How about D? Can I do D? What? No way. Do I have to say go down? Oh, no. If I have to say go down, then I get, irksome feelings for the two-word text parser. But we did. We went down. We're now in the engine room. We can see nets. The rack says place injector here. Low aux warning on. Recharging station. A locker. Can we open the locker? Open the locker. Oh, okay. Look in the locker. Okay, so the locker has, lots of stuff. Oxy bottle, crates closed, rack says place, the recharging station, and, okay, so it has bill of materials, a timepiece, and sneakers. Get sneakers. Yeah, we got them. Can we wear them? Wear sneakers. Huh? Oh, come on. Okay, so it is meant to be a simplified text adventure game, but it's not really incorporating lots of elements for the two-word text parser, at least from our first perspective of it. But considering all the other games we played up to this point, including adventure games and interactive fiction games, Mars is subpar. It is not one of the best ones you could play at this time. So if chat wants to help me out, I was going to say bad. Of all the games we played so far, I was going to do 2 stars, the best of the bad. Because we played adventure games, obviously, with graphics, but it really depends on how the text parser responds, the amount of commands it'll get for you, and then the story and so forth. This one's meant to be very, very puzzle-driven. So I'm going to go, I'll go 2 stars for Mars. And Mars 2. They're both very similar. All right, so that was Mars for the TRS-80 color computer. From one Mars to another. Let's see what our next game is. We're now back on the VIC-20. This is Master Wits. Let's take a look at the box. Master Wits. Pit your wits against the VIC and discover the hidden truth in this VIC representation of the famous game. The famous game they're referring to is Mastermind. Are we smart enough? We are probably not. But it released at some point in 1981. Here's a Master Wits for the VIC-20. What will happen? I don't know. I'm going to fast forward as we load Master Wits. The instructions say we're going to pick 4 blocks from the 6 colors. The colors may be repeated or they may be all different. Your task is to find which blocks go in which position. So it is Mastermind, but a color version of Mastermind. And then every time that you put in the right color, it'll display this arrow pointing up. If you put it in the wrong, the right color in the wrong position, it'll display this as the arrow pointing up as white. And when you get 4 colors correct or 4 arrows going up, then you won the game. So it's Mastermind, or you got to figure out what they're talking about, or figure out what color they want to have. And there, it mixes them all up, and then we use the number keypad to pick colors. So I pick colors, and then what did I get? Oh, so I got 3 colors correct, but they're in the wrong spot. So what if I do this one? And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. That's Master Wits. That is it. That's the whole game. So for all the games we played so far up to this point, a color Mastermind version, we actually never played one like that, but it's still Mastermind. And it is one of those games that is so simplistic that I'm going to give 1.5 stars. I'm not going to say it's broken, but it's still a bad game. 1.5 stars for Master Wits. Let's press forward and see what our next game is. We're now on the Atari home computer. First time tonight. This is Match Racer. Oh, I see Gabelli on there. This must be Gabelli software. Let's take a look at the box for Match Racer. Yes. Gabelli software, and it also says by Solitaire Group, too. So Gabelli must have just been the publisher. If we flip it over on the back, we have nothing, an empty box. Any other artwork for Match Racer? Oh, we have an alternate box developed by Softsmith. So either by Gabelli or Softsmith. Looks like, yeah, the Software Guild. And there's the example of the cassette tape for Match Racer. And we got a manual. Sweet. Match Racer. How do we play? Assembly language. We need 16K. Man, a whole 16K. Really not the most we've seen. I like checking out what the computers progressively need more and more memory. And the most I've seen so far on the channel was 48K, which is insane for 1981. 48K to play a game? That's crazy. But let's scroll down. Let's see what Match Racer is. Match Racer is a 1- or 2-player game. Okay, let's plug in our second controller to our Atari home computer. Before you boot the disc, be sure to remove any cartridges. Yes, we know. And make sure you have 16K. We got 16K. The select key will either be 1 or 2 player mode. In the 2-player mode, joystick 1 controls the gold car, left controls, the green car is on the 2nd player mode. 1-player mode is joystick used and the odometer is displayed. The option key is used to select a starting speed for cars. Default speed is the driver training level. After 5 miles, the speed increases to novice. When 15 miles are recorded, then you go to expert. Okay, nice. And then you push start to begin. Break allows you to pause the game. That's right, you can pause your game. It's even better than the arcades. And then the reset key will restart. Match Race contains numerous obstacles which the drivers avoid. Brick sidelines are drivable, but periodically loss of control. Oil slicks and puddles have the same effect. Collision with your opponent results in a loss of control for both cars. Major collisions with pink or green will disable the car for a short period of time. Each driver begins with 3 cars or 3 lives, and they're awarded additional cars after 10 miles. Hint! Bumping into your opponent may cause you to lose control, but you may be able to cause your opponent to lose control too. And remember, freeway speed may be hazardous to your health. Very, very clever. So for different versions, we got an alternate version. Let's pop that one in. So this is Match Racer, released at some point in 1981 for the Atari home computer. Yeah, I think Apple II was the only ones we saw that required 48K of RAM. 48K? That's why they... Hey, listen to that. Match Racer's got the tunes. So this is by Bill Hooper. Bill, did you do the sound too? This is the second amazingly sounding music on a home computer, ladies and gentlemen. The first one we saw was heard was Darts, but that's pretty good. Okay, so we're starting with 2 cars. Now I got 2 joysticks plugged in, both Atari joysticks. Let's push start and see what happens. So I got player 1 and player 2. So this is going to be impossible to do with one person controlling both cars, but we'll start it over again. Okay, so I'm on the left on the gold car. I have the ability to move up and down. The puddles mean you can't move around. You're staying in one spot. I'm getting beat by the computer here. I'll let the second player keep moving. So I'm controlling the second player now. It is... Any buttons? No, red button does nothing. So it's just moving left and right. Controls are really simple. You can move left, right, and up and down. And you can see as the gold car is first player, it's called Match Racer because you're on the same screen and you're just trying to get to the next part of the screen before the other person. And it shows you how many miles you've done down on the odometer. So I'm out playing as player 1. Player 2, I'll just let him die. And you see we've traveled enough miles, now it's speeding up. Oh, nice. This scrolling speed's pretty cool. It reminds me of when we played Caverns of Mars. It's done really well. All right, let's go again, but this time let's switch it out. Just have 1 player. We don't have to need a second car there. So you can see I can move around freely, and it saved our spot. I think this is where we left off. Our odometer reset, but I think we're in the same place of the course we played before. They didn't give us different options, like a different map or things like that. But this is very, very fun. This is the quintessential driving game you would want to play. The large car on the screen, and playing with 2 people would be great. Oh, yep. You gotta watch out for the water. Man, it makes you slide around. Now I want to see how much variety they have. Do they give us anything new besides this? Let's see how I reappear. I'm not picking when I reappear. It just does it for me eventually. I'm worried, though, when I get to higher and higher speeds, because this is speed 1, and I'm already seeing the large car, really difficult to maneuver through everything. I think it's the same thing repeating. If you bought this, maybe you memorize the course, and it plays the same way every time. Yeah, so we're seeing the same repeat. Yep, there we go. Yeah, the repeating course is kind of its downfall. It'd be a fun little novelty to play with 2 people, but if you don't get multiple courses or different scenery to look at, then, it's okay. I can even drive over on the brick. Nice. All right, let me just do a kill, because I think it's going to repeat ourselves. Let's crank the speed up. Let's see how fast this thing goes and how fast it scrolls. That should be our last life. Do we have one more? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so same thing. Let's do 1 car, but let's speed this sucker up. Let's go... How many speeds was it? 4. Okay, so let's go into 4th gear with Match Racer. All right, we're in. We're just going to die even faster than before. Oh my gosh, yeah. But your car moves equally fast, along with the scrolling speed. Let's try it again. Man, that's fast. Yeah, but it's the same course. You're not really, you're having to memorize the course, and it just gets played over and over and over again. That's really impressive, though, how fast it scrolls. Look at that. Wow. You can die so fast in this game. All right, last try. Can we get it? Nope. Yep, there we go. Wow, yeah. It's so quick. Whoa, you gotta be spot on. But hey, that's Match Racer. For Bally software, I'm a little disappointed. I was expecting something impressive. The scrolling is really impressive. The one screen, though, I don't see how long that would be entertaining to you unless you had someone else to play with. So I'd say for the time, it's still an average game, considering everything else. I wouldn't want to say it's an above average. The scroll speed is impressive. I'm trying to think if you play with 2 people, though. Yeah, if you had another person to play with, it'd be more enjoyable. So I'm going to go for 3.5 stars, slightly above average, considering every game we played up to this point. Gotta have someone to play with, though. All right, so with that, that's Match Racer. We've now reached the end of our evening. This time, we're going to put our video game playing on pause, and we'll continue with 1981, playing every game released at some point in 1981 in alphabetical order. We got so many games to play, and I'm very excited to let you guys know that we're working on a table that's going to show every single game we played so far with links to everything. So if you just want to see what game came out in July of 1980, you can just click the link and go right to the game on YouTube. Easy peasy. So we'll have that out as soon as we can. Usually it should be out by the time we get to 1982, but working on that really hard. It's going to be great. In the meantime, like I always say, don't make 2 Mars games, just make 1. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we miss any games along the way. This video would not be possible without RetroArch and Launchbox. Please tell your friends there's some crazy guy out there trying to play every single video game. You can always check out Chronologically Gaming on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We will catch you next time.